Funding for Schaefer-Ellis is provided by
Surfshark VPN. Tune until the end to find out about their amazing service. Mario Kart 64. So, I may have implied in some of my previous videos that this is indeed a fun Mario Kart game. And parts of it sure are. Playing this game with your friends is an absolute delight. Racing and doing your best to pummel each other with items is a blast in multiplayer. You can say this about any Mario Kart game, sure. But there's something about how hectic this one is and how loose its controls feel that add up to an experience unlike anything in the series. It's fun. Then you try and complete all the Grand Prix in single player, and yeah, this sucks. I'm straight up not having a good time. All that jankiness that made multiplayer a blast is now actively working against you and amounting to a miserable experience. I honestly got so tired of playing this after a while that I just booted up Mario Kart DS and started working on that ranking while I was in the middle of this one. 64 is a bit archaic to say the least, and it certainly hasn't aged the best. But hey, its track selection ain't half bad. It's only 5/8 bad. Yeah, there's only 16 courses to pick from here, and a few of them are indeed stinkers. But thankfully, a few of them are also all-time classics that I love dearly and can't wait to talk about. So why don't we jump right in? Every Mario Kart 64 course ranked, starting with those dreaded D tiers everyone knows and begrudgingly accepts. Let's-a go.
Disappointment in the game of life.
As of right now, every single course in Mario Kart 64 has made a return as a retro course in a future game. All except, conveniently enough, the worst one, Wario Stadium. But wait a minute, Schaff. Didn't they bring it back in Mario Kart 8? No, you fool. That was DS Wario Stadium, which is totally different from N64 Wario Stadium. Why they chose to remake a future course with the same name instead of just getting the original out of the way first, I don't really get. Maybe that has to do with the fact that this course is bad. I guess it has plenty of jumps and plenty of turns, but that doesn't really mean much in a game without a trick system or functional drifting. And in addition, everything else here is exceptionally pitiful. The background decoration consists of the same Wario head copy-pasted to infinity. The music is just repeated from Mario and Luigi Raceway, which is horribly unfitting when something like the Yoshi Valley or Choco Mountain song would have suited this track way better. There's a jump where if you get hit with an item, you're sent annoyingly far backwards on the track and you have a lot of ground to make up. And on top of all that, the course is unbearably long, meaning you're stuck with a miserable atmosphere and boring layout for way more time than you should be. Like, I'm ready to move on to the next race by the beginning of the second lap, but it just keeps going. In spite of all its issues, however, I think it is pretty mean that they refuse to bring this and only this track back. Like, the Booster Course Pass would have been a great time. Plus, seeing the glow-ups they gave to DS Wario Stadium and GameCube Waluigi Stadium, I think they could definitely make a really cool updated course out of this framework. Oh well, I guess we have to wait till Mario Kart 9 comes out in 2037 to see that.
Where'd you come from, mate? My town's called Snow Mountain.
Frappe Snowland is one of those truly special courses where the more you play it, the worse it gets. It's one where I enjoy the music and visuals and basically nothing else, I think. The layout is boring and unspecial, and the course is littered with these godforsaken snowmen that are absurdly difficult to dodge, especially at this one part where they're all bunched up in an incredibly difficult and annoying pattern. The ending part of the track in this pseudo snow tunnel is a really flaccid way to finish the course. And my personal favorite thing is if you try to cut corners with a mushroom too far, Lakitu scolds you for having too much fun and brings you back to the course, ruining your lead, your speed, and your enjoyment level. I swear to God, they did not playtest the boundaries of the Lakitu rescue zones nearly enough, because it just feels way too broken and janky. It's a course where I consistently have either a miserable or boring time, and I'm genuinely shocked that after repeat playthroughs, I liked it less and less to the point where I had to give Sherbet Land the edge. Sherbet Land! Speaking of which,
We're digging to Antarctica.
wow, Mario Kart 64, 2 lame snow courses in a row. Must be a new record. I'll admit, in my initial draft of this list, I had this course in last place. But playing it again a couple times, it got a bit better as Frappe Snowland and Wario Stadium got a bit worse. Don't get me wrong, there's a lot to hate here. Like, there's barely anything on the ice portions that make it feel like a racetrack. It's just this slippery, boring, frozen wasteland. Wasteland, you say? I think you mean Wonderland, cause there's penguins, and penguins are cool, right? Yeah, I guess, as long as you don't run into one, because that sends you spinning out, which takes forever to recover from. Good luck cutting these annoyingly sharp corners. Hope you don't fall in the water. It won't take forever for Lakitu to pull your freezing corpse out of the lake. I guess it's nice how the cave section is visually distinct from the rest of the track, even though it's easier to hit the penguins there, which really sucks. I don't know, ultimately the penguins are less annoying than the snowmen, so I guess this one gets to rank a little higher than its snowy counterpart. I also don't really know if I like this better or worse than its Wii make. I mean, I ranked both of them as the third worst courses in their respective games, but I guess I'd say the Wii version is worse because that game had a generally higher bar for its courses. It sticks out a lot more for being bad there, whereas here, I mean, hey, it's the best ice course in the game, I guess. Let's just move on from talking about this course forever, since it never comes back, thank God. Moving on to the C tiers now. Alright, time for some midness. Let's go.
Any ghost?
Pretty much, any ghost will do, sure.
I genuinely do not know what the consensus is on Banshee Boardwalk, because I just never really see anyone talk about this one. I don't even think there's any Banshees on this course. They probably just picked it for the alliteration, just like how that guy from Banshees of Inisherin picked it for the she sounds. Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, it's a course. There's a big fish that jumps, and I like that. I guess the atmosphere can be kind of unsettling with the darkness coupled with the music, but overall, something just feels kind of off about this course. My friend put it really well when he said this feels more like a video game level than an actual place compared to the rest of the courses in this game. Most of it is just a straight shot on this frustratingly narrow boardwalk, which has plenty of turns but no real shortcut opportunities, and it comes across as rather samey and repetitive. Aside from that part in the castle with the graffiti arrow signs, which feels more tacky than anything. I don't know, it's not an awful course or anything, but it just kind of feels like an amateur fan-made Wii course, rather than one Nintendo would officially make themselves. Just kind of forgettable, with atmosphere that's not nearly good enough to make up for its blandness.
As I walk through the valley of the shadow of
Yoshi!
Yoshi Valley is undoubtedly the most ambitious course in Mario Kart 64. But maybe it was a little too ambitious? I mean, look at the race placement boxes. They don't exist. Since this course has all sorts of winding alternate paths, the game just straight up can't tell you who's in what place. That's kind of a fun gimmick, but also kind of annoying. And yet, it isn't even close to my biggest issue with this track. Many of these paths are super narrow, and if you happen to fall off of one, you're tumbling all the way down this mountain. Lakitu doesn't even think to save you until you've already reached the bottom, at which point you're likely way behind in the race. Not that you'd even be able to tell, of course, but God, I hate how long the recovery time is on this track. Just put a black abyss here or some water or something. Don't make me sit through this every time I fall. Aside from those issues, it's decent. The branching path idea is really fun and neat, and it has a big Yoshi egg, so that's pretty epic. Overall, definitely a better course than 8 Deluxe, but I can't say the original was all that terrible.
Moo?
Another oval? Why are these tour tracks so uncreative and terrible? So, Moo Moo Farm is the rather underwhelming big brother to Moo Moo Meadows. It's an oval. There are slight hills. There's a bridge that you go under and not on at any point. Oh wait, I'm sorry, I was mistaken. There's 2 bridges that you go under and not on at any point. Whew, what a relief. I thought this course was boring for a second there. Okay, that's kind of mean. I actually do think that much like Super Circuit, considering how difficult this game's controls can be to get a hold of, there's definitely a lot of value to the simpler, more manageable courses, like this one. And it's got plenty of good attributes, like its Windows 95 background aesthetic, and the fact that it puts a bunch of moles on the right side of the track, thus adding a risk factor to the inside portion that might discourage you from drifting along the quickest route. You either risk it and try to dodge the moles, or drift on the left side, which might be slower. That's kind of a clever little detail. But then again, there aren't even any Moo Moos on the road. Like, how can I play this? There's no cows. Lame. Moo Moo Meadows was better plus L plus ratio. Anyway, it's B tier time now. These next courses are pretty solid, so let's see what they are.
Mario?
It's hard to really find new things to say about Mario Raceway that I didn't already say in my Wii video. I guess it sticks out as a pretty solid course in this game, compared to in Wii where there were dozens of more exciting courses. In 64, 1/8 of the track selection is Wario Stadium and Frappe Snowland. I'll gladly take a solid enough Mario Circuit course. The aesthetics, turns, and obstacles all suit this game pretty well. It's pretty simple, but I can always appreciate a good, clean race on it. For being the first real Mario Circuit track in a 3D Mario Kart game, I think this sets the standard pretty well. Nice stuff.
And Luigi Mario.
It almost felt kinda wrong to rank Luigi Raceway and Mario Raceway so high, because they are the basic bitch courses designed for beginners to get into the game. But, as I mentioned in the Moo Moo Farm segment, sometimes a simple course in an older Mario Kart game with rough feeling controls can be a good thing. And I think that's absolutely the case here. As usual, Luigi outshines his brother with a slightly better circuit course. The fact that it's mostly a wide oval doesn't bother me too much, since it allows you to use mushrooms to cut corners off the track, which is definitely pretty satisfying. I also like the classic NASCAR feeling atmosphere, in addition to the unique tunnel segment, the Jumbotron, and especially that hot air balloon that guarantees a blue shell every time you grab an item box from it. I think this is a more than solid starter course for this game. In fact, looking at the rankings I'm doing of each starter course as I make these videos, I would currently put it at 2nd place. Not as good as Double Dash Luigi Circuit, but a step above Peach Circuit. Aw, look at Luigi Circuit Wii. Gonna cry? Well, before things get heated up in the Luigi Circuit Wii fandom, let's take a break and check out Battle Mode. And I'm gonna be totally honest, this might just be my favorite battle mode in the entire series. I'm serious. This is definitely the only game in the series where I'd rather play the battle mode over the main racing mode. And I'll talk about why once we run down all the courses. Unlike the racetracks where I went back and forth on my ranking a ton, there's no debate with the battle stages. The weakest is Big Donut. Turns out battling on a big circle is not that fun. There's no way to get from one side to the other quickly, so you might as well just stay in the same spot as each other, or else it turns into an annoying game of chase, and yeah, nobody ever picks this one, let's be real. Next up is Double Deck. I'm surprised that this is the only one that hasn't come back in a future game yet. It's pretty solid with a lot of layers to hide from your friends and plan your attacks. It can be a bit confusing to navigate through, but maybe a visual overhaul in a future remake would alleviate those issues. Next is Skyscraper. It's not as easy to fall off here as I remember, and when you do, it's really funny seeing how far down you go. Essentially, you're just left with a good fun course with a ton of sections to weave in and out of, and it makes for a great time. But literally, none of these matter compared to the single best battle course in the series, Block Fort. They perfected a battle mode course in their second game. Incredible. It's like an obstacle course with multiple layers to it and bridges to connect to each section. There's so many places you could go, hide, dodge, all that good stuff. But what I really love is the psychological aspect here. You have 4 distinct colored fortresses, and battle mode supports a max of 4 players. So telling the rest of your friends that you're claiming one of these forts, and then defending it from anyone who encroaches on your territory, is unbelievably fun. And the course itself is made even better by the rule set, which to this day hasn't been topped by any other battle mode. There's no computers and no time limit. You all have 3 balloons, and you gotta pop the balloons your opponents have. And once someone loses all their balloons, they don't come back. It's elimination based, baby. Oh, so what? They just sit there and watch their friends have fun now? No, man. They respawn as a bomb car, and now they get to cause some chaos by trying to blow another racer up. That's hilarious. Like, this is how you do a damn battle mode. And no Mario Kart since has gotten it as right as this one. I'd argue that battle mode on Block Fort specifically is the single best multiplayer experience on the Nintendo 64. I think I need to cool down for a bit from how incredible this experience is, and talk about Surfshark now. With Surfshark, you can trick your browser into thinking you're in another country, thus allowing you to access exclusive Netflix or Disney Plus content you couldn't get otherwise. No need to physically travel to Sherbetland in order to enjoy all the amazing penguin content they've got there. You can watch it all at home without running the risk of falling into the frozen lake and becoming a human popsicle. Plus, their Surfshark alert system gives you alerts anytime your email address or password is compromised. Surfshark Alert scans various databases of leaked information and notifies its users if their data is found so they can take action, which is an absolutely invaluable feature. Surfshark is also totally unlimited, meaning you can use it on as many devices as you like, even all at the same time. No other VPN allows this. I don't think you can use Surfshark on an N64 though, but that's just because it's old. Pretty much all your modern devices are Surfshark approved. Go to surfshark.deal/Rillis and enter promo code RILLIS to get 83% off and 3 extra months of Surfshark VPN for free. It's an amazing deal, and it's even better because it comes with a 30-day money-back guarantee. So if you're not satisfied, you can cancel during those 30 days and get your money back. If you're looking for a great VPN, there's no reason not to give Surfshark a try. Once again, head to surfshark.deal/Rillis and enter the promo code RILLIS. Have a great time with Surfshark VPN.
He's almost a quarter of the way there.
Ah, jeez. I don't know what to think about Rainbow Road in this game. I feel like I could rank it really, really high or really, really low, depending on my mood each day. It's the one course that, perhaps more than any other in the series, I just can't pin down a concrete opinion on. And I feel like that's the case for the general Mario Kart community as a whole. Much like Baby Park, this is a really contentious one where you either love it or you hate it. So I'm just gonna take the coward's way out and rank it right around the middle. I think everyone can agree that aesthetically, this course is phenomenal. The Rainbow Road itself, the character fireworks in the background, the music, ooh baby, the music! It's some good stuff. It's one of the most magical feeling courses in the whole series for sure. But yeah, it's 6 straight minutes of driving a pretty uneventful road with very few obstacles and absolutely no opportunities to fall off. On the one hand, I admire it as an endurance test. It's driven me and my friends insane trying to catch up with each other and to get to the end and put a stop to the whole race. But is wanting the race to be over halfway through really a sign of a good Mario Kart track? This course is certainly brutal, like a Rainbow Road should be. But for once, that comes not from its difficulty, and instead from how it feels like it takes 10 hours to complete. I don't know, I admire the audacity, and I have had plenty of fun times on this course, which is more than I could say about most of the ones I ranked at the bottom. But yeah, I think this is about as high as it can go. Also, I've never pulled off the ultra shortcut at the beginning before. Am I just bad at video games? Chocolate! You know, if we're ranking the courses in this game by the ones that give me the most visceral, positive reaction when I think of them, the top 2 would end up being the course that I actually ranked at number 1, and the one that's all the way down at this slot. That being Choco Mountain. I swear to God, this course is the physical manifestation of that meme with the guys on the bus. Thinking about playing Choco Mountain gives me such immense pleasure and joy. Then I actually play it, and oh, I touched one of the walls at the wrong angle. Oh, yep, guess I'm spinning. No, I fell off this part. I'm going backwards on the track now. Okay, that's fine. That's great. This is so fun. This is the best course ever. I love it so much. It's more than a little frustrating to play on, especially when you combine its janky elements with the already janky controls of 64. And it doesn't feel nearly as dynamic as many of the courses I ranked above it. I don't really have as much fun playing on this course as I do just looking at it and listening to it. Because oh my god, I want to eat this course. They nailed the chocolatey look, and the fog is a really cool touch also. And the music? Honestly up there with Rainbow Road as my 2 favorite songs in the entire game. This is a course that just excites me anytime I see it, because how do you not get excited about a mountain made entirely of chocolate? I really wanted to rank it higher, but since gameplay reigns supreme, I ultimately just couldn't. Fortunately, I'll have plenty of chances to gush about it later when it gets brought back by Mario Kart games that are actually playable. So ultimately, despite being the weakest version of this course, I still think it belongs in the top half because of the theming, music, and some fun parts of the layout like the ramps, tunnel, and boulders. A good course, except when it's not, I guess.
Hey man, what's going on? I'm on the highway right now.
Okay, revisiting 64 for this video, the biggest shock of the entire ranking for me was just how good the original version of Toad's Turnpike is. Spoilers for my future ranking, I guess, but I hate this course in 8 Deluxe. It is genuinely so boring to me, and the more traffic courses get added to the booster course pass, the more irrelevant it becomes. But like, on the other hand, every time I play this original version, I always have a good time. What sorcery is this? Well, I think the aesthetic plays a big part here, first of all. That skybox, that one right there, best skybox in the game, hands down. I don't even necessarily know what time of evening they're capturing here, but whatever it is, it's the best of times. You'd think it's also the worst of times because of how large and in charge the cars and trucks are on this road. But that makes weaving in between them all the more satisfying and fun. Pulling over to the side of the road to get items is a really cute touch. And overall, I just can't help but be incredibly charmed by this course in every aspect, from gameplay to aesthetic to music. And that's not even getting into mirror mode, where they actually flip the direction that the cars are racing so that you're driving against traffic. That's an insanely cool detail. Overall, some really great stuff that I have very little to complain about. You fell off, Mario Kart 8 Toad's Turnpike. You fell off. Unlike these top 5 courses, which are A tier. So let's talk about them now.
Dear Mario, please come to the castle.
Alright, let's get this out of the way right off the bat. Yes, you can drive around Peach's castle on this course, and it's the most amazing thing ever. I'm so glad they did this. It's up there as one of the coolest Easter eggs in any Mario Kart course. It doesn't even matter to the race. You're not supposed to go here, but you just can. And it's incredible, and I love it. And I will never forgive 8 Deluxe for removing it. Now get the fuck out of my house, you stupid game that's superior to this one in every way, except for this one small Easter egg. And the entirety of Toad's Turnpike, I guess. And I kinda like battle mode in this one better. Anyway, what else does Royal Raceway do right? Well, it's got a big ass jump, which at this point in the series is a big ass deal. Even though you wouldn't bat an eye at a jump like this in any future Mario Kart games, it's a pretty exhilarating and memorable portion of this course based on the standard of this game's tracks. Aside from these cool as shit elements, what you're left with is just a really solid and memorable track. There's a lot of good turns, it's sufficiently lengthy without being overly long, and the color palette is really nice with the pink sky and green hills. For being a raceway course, i.e. a circuit, which is usually a dreaded, boring moniker for a course to have, I think this one definitely sticks out as one of the best in the series. It feels like Luigi Raceway was the beginner circuit, Mario Raceway was intermediate, and this one's advanced, giving you a fun and satisfying track with a lot to love about it. Let's be honest though, it would probably drop down 2 or 3 slots if it didn't have the Peach's Castle Easter egg.
In the jungle, the mighty jungle.
DKs Jungle Parkway is another course that I feel no one really talks about, which is a travesty, I say, because wow is this course fun. It honestly feels a lot more elaborate than most of the courses in 64, almost like it would have fit in with the Nitro courses in Double Dash or DS. The jungle theme is on point with a lot of great background details, the bridge is really satisfying to leave items on, being able to control where you go on that huge jump gives me life, and nothing compares to that last turn where if you're going fast enough, you can just circumvent the road entirely and propel yourself up the hill in incredibly stylish fashion. The only slight complaint I have with this course is how annoying it is when rocks get thrown at you whenever you veer on the grass. Like, I get it guys, I can tell I shouldn't be here because I'm going a lot slower. You don't have to pelt me with rocks. No, wait, is that shit? It's not a huge deal, but all I'm saying is, I think there's a reason nobody complained when they took that feature out of the Wii version of this course. But yeah, all things considered, this is a definite standout and one of my favorites in the game.
Looks like this beach was a little too much beach for you, Ken. If I wasn't severely injured, I would beat you off right now, Ken.
Is there really anything to complain about with Koopa Troopa Beach? It's just nice. A perfect 3D evolution of the Koopa Beach levels from Super Mario Kart. Apparently, putting Troopa in the name meant all the difference, because this one is an easy standout. The abundance of ramps are more than welcome. They can be tricky to fully stay on, but they're also completely optional and can be easily ignored in favor of cutting corners underwater. Yeah, take that, 7. This game has underwater driving too, kinda. Just don't go too far into the ocean and you'll be fine. This course also has one of the coolest shortcuts in the whole game, with a ramp leading to a cave that'll take you through a waterfall and all the way ahead of the pack. I also love how charming this rock that's supposed to look like Koopa Troopa is. It really doesn't, but like, seeing the designers do their best with what the N64 could accomplish will never cease to delight me. Plus, maybe in universe this wasn't designed as a carving of Koopa Troopa. Maybe they just discovered this island and found this rock that coincidentally vaguely resembled a Koopa, so they named it Koopa Troopa Beach. What is the crucial lore of Mario Kart? I need to know. Anyway, an undeniably fun time every time I play it.
It's from Bowser.
Is it just me, or is the N64 Bowser's Castle low-key one of the best ones in the whole series? It has a lot of the oppressive and ominous atmosphere that something like Banshee Boardwalk was missing, complete with haunting music, crispy-looking lava, creepy as shit, ominous laughing thwomps, and huge portraits of Bowser everywhere. Actually, those look kind of silly, never mind. The small garden area is also an interesting juxtaposition to the rest of this formidable fortress, and its confusing nature can be a bit unsettling in its own right. I think aesthetically, this is the most unique Bowser's Castle in the whole series, and it captures a sense of creepiness that no other one does. But on top of that, it's just amazing to drive on too, making all these turns as you dodge the thwomps that move in unique patterns compared to any other course, avoiding the numerous opportunities to fall into the lava and perish, and in general dealing with a course that's tricky but not frustrating or jank. It's the perfect level of difficulty for this game, and it suits the theme beautifully. And of course, the jailed Thwomp, who I now know is named Marty. May he one day be free. We're all rooting for you, buddy. Overall, yeah, I gotta give this course some credit. There's no other track in the game, nor any other Bowser's Castle in the series quite like it. It's fun, it's spooky, it's a really great time. Outdone only by one other. I'm sorry guys, but the number one pick was obvious for me. 15 of the 16 courses in this game do not have a train. Calamari Desert, train ahoy! This is my favorite course because train, and I refuse to explain myself any further. Okay, fine, I guess I will. This, to me, is the quintessential desert course. One that doesn't rely on the fact that it's a desert as the main selling point. Because how exactly is that a selling point? These biomes are usually so boring and forgettable. But Calamari Desert subverts the typical mediocrity you'd come to expect from this type of course. Which is crazy considering how it was the first desert track ever put in a Mario Kart game. They really just peaked at the beginning, huh? And let's go over its other positive attributes real quick, so you don't think I'm biased because train, even though I totally am. The music, for starters, is impeccably iconic. Lighthearted and adventurous at the same time, it's something I could listen to for ages without getting tired of it. The curved trail allows you to use mushrooms and stars to cut corners to your heart's content, which is a boon for any course. Basically, every part of this track has a shortcut if you've got the right item for it. The aesthetic is shockingly gorgeous. Like with most deserts, you'd expect the sands to be tan and bland, really matching that typical New Super Mario Bros. Desert color scheme. But here, look at this, man. Look at the beautiful orange ground textures and equally beautiful skybox. It's so pleasing on the eyes, and it just makes you feel like you're on an adventure through this magical land. If this was all the track was, it would still be in the top half, but maybe not number one. But that's where train comes in. Oh, baby. Oh my God, I love train so much. Do you risk going for it if the train is about to cross your path? Or do you stop and wait for it to pass? It's a classic conundrum in movies and TV shows that's been brought to life in exquisite fashion here in Mario Kart. The amount of fun unpredictability this locomotive provides makes this easily one of the most memorable and special courses in the whole game. Not bad for a Mushroom Cup course. That's pretty wild. And yeah, going off the beaten path and following the train into the tunnel in order to satiate your curiosity is extremely fun as well. It all adds up to a track that's iconic for all the right reasons. Easily my favorite Mario Kart 64 course, and one that I hope comes back in every game in the series from here on out. So yeah, that's 64. It's okay, you know, it's got a lot of great stuff, but not all of it aged the best. And between this and Super Circuit, I think I'm done torturing myself. So I'm gonna play DS next and have some actual fun with this series again. Good night, Tri-State area.